and welcome back to HVAC Talk, Let's Be Real. My name's Renee. I'm one of the owners of LCS.
My name is Tyler. I'm a maintenance and service tech with LCS.
All right, so today we're going to talk to you a little bit about after-hours service, also referred to as 24/7 service or emergency service. The reason we want to talk about this, we had a customer a couple weekends ago that called in and said, hey, I'd like service on a Saturday, but I don't really want to pay an after-hours fee. So we want to talk a little bit about why companies might charge higher rates on weekends or in evenings or on holidays versus during the week. Okay, so Tyler, let's start with you.
Okay.
You rotate in on our on-call schedule. What does that mean for you?
It means a little bit of sacrifice in the evenings and weekends. You have birthday parties or dinners or concerts and stuff you may have to miss out on, and be available for our customers. So there's a little bit of sacrifice involved, yeah.
Okay, so when it's really busy outside and say you have a full day of calls, besides like a social life that it definitely affects, what are some other things as far as like, do you work a full day and then go out in the evenings, or are you off a little bit during the day? How does that work?
Typically, if you work right up until 5 o'clock, our phones switch over at 5, so I could be getting calls as soon as I get home. I'm maybe lucky to grab a bite to eat, but some nights, you don't get that luxury.
Okay, so your days could easily turn from a typical 8-hour day to 11, 12, 13-hour day.
And then, like you said earlier, on weekends too, so you could end up working, 11, 12 days in a row before you get a break. So.
Okay, so it is a big sacrifice. Now, it's necessary in our industry. So HVAC companies, like we mentioned, there's a lot that could go wrong outside of hours that you need service for. Plumbing companies have that same issue, right? So a lot of companies want to incentivize, well, hi, Minnie, want to provide some incentives. So that might be a bonus for running calls. That may be a flat bonus for the whole week for being on call. That could be, say instead of your regular, hourly rate, you're paid overtime. Maybe you're paid from door to door. Companies do all sorts of different things. But what it comes down to is that technician is usually going to have some sort of incentive for being on call and making those sacrifices. It's especially tough on like Christmas and Thanksgiving.
Holidays and stuff, you've got to be available for the customers just as well,
Yeah.
Like you said, the incentives, it makes it a little bit better at the end of the week when you get a little bit better check. So there's a plus side to things.
Absolutely. Now, in addition to what the technician is doing, phones also have to be answered. So back in the day, a few years ago, Travis and I here at LCS actually took all of those evening and weekend calls. It takes its toll because you never get to step away and really leave work. Right. And so most companies utilize an answering service. And so that's great because there's a live person that answers the phone. There's somebody you can talk to. You have choices. Maybe you just got home from work and it's 7 o'clock at night and you thought about, I need to schedule my maintenance. That's great because then you can call in, talk to the answering service, and leave a message for the office. Or maybe you need service, you get that text
then it comes to us.
Yes. Now, in addition, a lot of companies are utilizing some other services such as web chat or texting services. I know you've had a lot of feedback.
Yeah, we love the texting service. It sends a picture out with a description of us and our image and stuff, and I have nothing but positive reviews for that from our customers. So.
Yeah, so imagine if you're having somebody come out to your house at 10 o'clock at night, it's nice to have that visual of who's coming and a little bit about them. Yeah, and so that web service, the text, texting, all that good stuff, but those things do come at a cost. So a lot of times companies are going to have a higher service call rate, or the repairs are going to be a little bit higher on those after-hour emergency times than what they would be during regular times. It's simply to cover the additional cost for being able to offer that service.
Yep.
Yeah. So I hope that helps. I will say this, some companies structure it in different ways. Some companies may say, you know what, there's no overtime service call, but we can almost guarantee that those costs are going to be rolled into the repair.
Somewhere.
Yeah, they are. Other companies will say, hey, here's a service call, here's the repair, you add them together and there you go. The thing that's important to remember is it's always a choice, right? And so it's an emergency service, it's available to you. If you don't like the pricing, absolutely. Like you might be able to wait, you might be able to
reschedule regular business hours. Sometimes you can be comfortable enough for the night, and if that's the case, just let us know the next day.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's always options out there. And when I say we, I mean HVAC companies just want to provide service so that you can get service when you want it, just keeping in mind that a lot of times that's going to come at a little bit of an additional cost than during a typical work week. All right, well, I hope that's some great information for you. Thank you so much for joining us on HVAC Talk, Let's Be Real. Until next week, enjoy this beautiful weather,
Absolutely.
Gorgeous outside, and have a great week. See you later.